You're listening to the Timey-Wimey Tea Time Extras, a geeky antics.net experience, where the lovely and amazing people who talk about Doctor Who every Saturday talk about anything. Warning, the conversations in our extras may be NSWF. We're rating it MA for mature audiences only. This content may be unsuitable for children under 17.
Timey-Wimey Tea Time. Me gusta.
What's going on, guys? We're back, and it's a little bit of a madhouse right now in Casa Yogi. Family got back from grocery shopping, and yeah, I like BFT picked up on the philosophy of staying quiet and no one knows you're there. We need to we need to get some of that practice here in the home front. And getting some chat going on All Games IRC, even though we're not streaming All Games right now, because we only have a 2-hour slot on All Games. We're going to try to stick to that, because apparently some other shows are coming to join us on the TWT block. So they're planning to... We're spearheading Saturday programming on All Games. Yay!
Wow.
What do you think about that, besides wow? That about sums it up.
Yep.
Tweet us. Tweet us at Geeky Antics. Tweet us at Farina. And at Yogizilla. There you go. That's what I'm saying right now at IRC. Anyway. So now that we don't have to worry about the time constraints, we talk a little more liberally. There was a lot of stuff, you know. Even though Series 8 has fallen kind of flat and it's been a little shallow, arguably, there's still a lot of stuff there. I don't know. Well, you want to talk some more about Doctor Who, or should we talk more about The Walking Dead season 5? Actually, a quick thing that I don't know if you're aware of. It's a whole different item, but you know, we've seen a lot of superhero shows. We have Arrow, The Flash, Agents of Shield. You could say is arguably a superhero show. Well, I say arguably because they're not really too many superheroes, more heroes, but not superpowers. And then there's Gotham, which is very much grounded. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool show.
Is that a kids show?
No, emphatically no. But now Universal, part of the NBC Universal Comcast powerhouse, a monster of a mega corporation. Universal's trying to bring back the Universal Monsters, and they're trying to take the Marvel Cinematic Universe approach to things, making it one cohesive universe where the monsters eventually could bump into each other and are aware of each other's existence and whatnot. Which is pretty cool, if you ask me. They released Dracula Untold. Ooh, just Twitch? Am I losing my connection? Okay, we're good.
No, I hear you.
Okay. Twitch briefly went into the red.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. But let me know if you guys hear me all right. And if I'm too loud. I think I was loud in the beginning of the show, and then I tweaked some stuff. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. They released Dracula Untold. Originally, that was supposed to be a standalone film, and then they ended up kind of retrofitting it by reshooting some scenes to make it play into their plans to kind of be the Marvel Cinematic Universe for monsters. So that's kind of
Huh.
cool. Yeah. We'll see the Wolfman come back, the creature from the Black Lagoon, Invisible Man. Yeah. This is where we show our age, Stan.
Yeah.
Cause most the younger folk listening are like,
What's the creature of the Black Lagoon?
what the heck are you guys talking about?
Yeah, could a youngster actually sit through that movie?
Hmm.
I remember those long shots of the ripples of the water.
I think they hold up surprisingly well.
Do they?
Yeah. Um. Yes, I think you can revisit them. I mean, if you talk about Dracula universe, Nosferatu goes
Yeah.
back to what, the 1920s, 1940s.
Well, that's weird stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
That's a
because
little
there's
tougher.
so much. I mean, you get the new vampire stuff. You got the old vampire stuff. Which store are they going to go with?
Yeah, there's so many different universes with different rules. I kind of like what they did with Dracula 3000 or 2000, whatever it was, where they explained that Dracula was Judas, and because he betrayed Jesus,
Uh-huh.
he was paid silver coins.
Right.
That's why he's cursed, to the point where he can't touch silver. That was a cool explanation of why that rule exists, that weakness exists.
So he's like the Antichrist.
Pretty much. Well, I mean, Dracula not that powerful. The Antichrist could like destroy the entire world. I don't think Dracula has that much power. But in a sense, yeah. Or he's a harbinger of doom, the bringer of the darkness, commander of all things shadowy. BFT is on the same wavelength that myself and the folks at ZombieCast, which is also on allgames.com. Definitely check that out. We were talking about that they should bring back Monster Squad.
I don't think I saw Monster Squad.
That's one I have to rewatch, but I remember it being really cool. That'd be awesome. You know what else I saw recently that brought back memories and made me a little sad? Ghostbusters.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah, dude, that's such a great movie. Why don't we have films like that today? Why didn't well, maybe it's a good thing they never did, but why didn't they make a sequel to that sooner? Because Dan Aykroyd is brilliant. He had quite a lot to do with that film, and Harold Ramis, who
Isn't Rick Moranis alive or dead?
He's alive, but Harold Ramis, who did Ghostbusters, he did Caddyshack. I think he did a couple of the National Lampoon movies. I mean, he has quite a lot to his credit, and he passed away last year. And it's just, when I'm watching that movie, I'm like, darn, there's a huge void there. There's another person we'll miss. He was brilliant, and I actually watched Ghostbusters. I watched it twice, and second time I watched it with the DVD commentary with Harold Ramis. I forgot who else was producing, directing the film, and I think Dan Aykroyd was also speaking. I want to say no, it wasn't Dan Aykroyd. It was someone else. But it's still cool just getting the behind the scenes and everything. They talked about how they only had a limited window to shoot at the Midtown Library in Manhattan. So they a lot of the scenes we thought took place there were actually filmed in L.A. or somewhere in California, because they only had like a 2-hour window to film at the Midtown Library.
You got cut off just now.
Did I?
Like 2 seconds.
Something's going on with the internet. That's not good. But yeah, they had a limited window at the Midtown Library in Manhattan, New York. So they had to they only basically shot the outside and the main room. If you ever go to the library, it's very interesting because they're still really old school, and when you want to get certain books, they bring it up to you in a dumbwaiter. Yeah, dude, isn't that cool?
That is.
I always thought that was neat, but man, I watched that. I was really in like an '80s mood. I watched that and I watched Back to the Future, and films used to be fun, and very creative, and TV as well. But I mean, now it's like I wonder if people just lack imagination, where they're just rehashing old ideas. There's so many great ideas you can still, do. Like I started to watch. I didn't finish it, but I'm gonna try to watch it today. There's a movie called Snowpiercer, and
Hmm.
it's basically a Noah's Ark story where the last surviving human beings are on a train that travels to Earth because the outside conditions of the Earth are too cold for a human to bear.
Okay.
All because they tried to address the issue of global warming by using a chemical missile to disperse a cooling agent, and it ended
Uh-huh.
up. And I don't know how this could possibly happen, but several scientists working together, working in tandem, did not have the foresight. That's a big oversight to not realize. Well, there's a possibility that it could overcool the atmosphere.
Uh-huh.
So, so all that's left of humanity is on this train, and it's very much a social commentary because you could tell they're talking about the class system because the
Uh-huh.
poor people are on the back of the train, middle class is in the middle, and the rich people are in the front. And there's all sorts of abuse going on the train, and people are planning to revolt, and it's really neat. Yeah, check that
Huh.
out. Um, but it's rare when you find those kind of inspired films that get you thinking or just take you to a different place where you can actually really just escape for a while and just get lost in the creative work. Doctor Who is usually that, guys.
It was once.
Not too long ago. Series 8 is.
But
I'm with you,
look,
bro.
you and I sat and watched some of the old shows together when you were here, and
Hmm.
we loved the episodes. I didn't have bad things to say. So, obviously, and those were also done by Muppet.
Hmm.
So something happened in season 8.
Well, like I keep saying, Muppet was focusing on being a writer. Russell T Davies was the showrunner, so he wasn't spread so thin. With Muppet as a showrunner, you're doing the production, being like the chief executive of the show, whatever, the executive producer, and also writing a lot of the episodes. It's just too much for one person,
And he
and
does Sherlock.
he does Sherlock. Though I don't think he's written anything new in the past year and a half. I haven't seen anything come through. I'm gonna have to double check that. But yeah, I mean, you really need someone, in any creative project. It's good to have outside eyes, someone that's not
Maybe
as
he's
attached to
tired.
certain elements. Is he tired? There's so much content. The plots of Doctor Who should practically write themselves. Let's be honest.
They should.
I mean, I think if you or I, and you're a far better writer than I am, but
Nah,
if either one of us went in on the show, we could write better scripts than what they've written.
this is true. Especially for season 8.
Yeah, the other seasons, I think this is the first season that really has been so divisive, to be honest. And I and
And it's
Matt
terrible that
Smith.
they do it now. So it's terrible that the bad writing happens now with the new doctor because it's kind of jarring. I mean, if you still had Matt Smith, he could have carried us through the hard moments.
and Matt Smith, as you know, for me was um, a hard doctor to get adjusted to
Right,
at
right.
first, and then he grows on you because he was just so physical with the role.
Right.
You could tell he was passionate about playing that role. He made it his own. Peter Capaldi has done too, but they've set him up for failure.
Uh-huh.
And then all this season, they're trying to play this whole backstory, this underlying theme of, he's supposed to be. Is he a good? He keeps asking himself if he's a good person, and by extension, am I a bad person? And he's having this internal conflict, and he does some questionable things, and then you would think with the bumping into the master would finally make him say, no, I'm not him. I'm nowhere as bad as he did do that, but it wasn't convincing enough. And there should have been a stark contrast there, and he should have just turned around and said, hey, I've done some things that are messed up, but at the end of the day, I care about people and I believe in justice. I've lost my way here and there, but you're just completely gone, dude. I don't want to be anything like you. But you and I mean, he says something like, "You and I are nothing alike,"
Mm-hmm.
you know. But you could tell a part of him is kind of like, yeah, I do see some of me in the Master and Missy. But what does he do to fight that? It's rough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel relief. I think we could go back. We could go on to some other topics because
Yeah, and we can go back to old Doctor Who too.
yeah. Where do we even start with that? Nah, maybe Santa Claus will bring me a old Tom Baker box set or like I'd love to have the third and fourth Doctors, the entire collections. That'd be cool. Readily accessible.
Uh
And I have to go through nefarious means to.
huh. I hear you.
Then again, a lot of it. Yeah, it's funny. Netflix has a lot of the movies, but they don't
Uh-huh.
have the episodes. That'd be so cool if they had the episodes. That would make me want to renew my Netflix. Cause now all we have is Amazon Prime, and then of course Crackle, which is free to everyone.
Right.
Amazon Prime is great, but a lot of their good content you have to pay for it on top of the yearly subscription.
Right. Well, you have to pay for anything recent.
Well, even old stuff too, cause I was
Oh yeah.
hankering to watch Labyrinth, which one of my favorite movies.
Oh, that's a great movie.
I love it.
So sad though at the end.
Yeah, there's a lot of dark undertones to
There's a
that
lot
film.
of dark undertones, but it's a great movie. It's magical. It's enchanting.
It is. I wish my wife could see that. She just can't get past David Bowie and his prominent junk being displayed. It really irks her. She can't stand it. She's like, she really gets, she's disgusted by him.
Uh-huh.
Him and Gene Simmons. She can't stand. Which Gene Simmons is really disgusting. He's a nasty man. I mean, there's a man that his claim to fame is that his tongue is longer than most, and he spares no expense reminding
I
people
thought
of
his
that.
claim to fame was he slept with more women than anybody else.
Well, that's a byproduct of the fact that he has
He
the
has the
longer tongue.
longest tongue in the world.
Yeah.
Was it surgically altered?
I don't. I think he just had, from what I understood, he has some kind of condition where like there's less tendons under the tongue or whatever. Cause you know how we have that
Uh-huh.
little weird flesh under
Right.
the tongue. He doesn't have all that holding it back, so he can stretch it out much further. Very intriguing. Let's just say that.
Uh-huh.
But he's a nasty guy. I've heard several stories from people I know. Chip Sella from the B Team podcast, and some more name dropping for you guys. Great podcast, by the way. Check them out. They're great with the bantering, and they talk about tech and video games. And it's also available at allgames.com, our sister network for the Geeky Antics network. But he had set up an interview with Gene Simmons, and he went to talk to him, and Gene Simmons says, "Remind me what network or show or what platform are you with? What media outlet are you with?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm with the B Team podcast, which is on All Games Network." He's like, "Oh no, you're too small for me. I don't have time for that."
Oh.
Yeah, what a nasty guy. And even his agent was like, "Dude, we already set up this interview," and he just blew him off like that.
Uh-huh.
So a real jerk, deplorable man. That's why I say, people have their gripes with the doctor. I mean, granted, we have to hold him to higher standards because we know the person he's been and who he can be. But at least he's not Gene Simmons.
I hear you, man.
I mean, if you think about it, the doctor could be a womanizer. What better thing can you have than to tell someone I could travel anywhere you want, anytime you want? Like, how sexy is that?
Yeah.
Unless you're like me and you don't really like to travel. But the TARDIS takes the bad parts of travel away, really.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's got a whole world in there.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about TSA checkpoints and making sure you don't have liquid bottles of liquids beyond 5 ounces, and you have to
Yeah.
have everything clear cases and blah blah blah. Ugh, what a pain in the butt.
No late trains or delays.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That worked out well though, because we got to spend another whole 2 days together. So that's cool. We got to eat some more good food.
We did. We ate well.
Yeah, which is a treat for both of us. For me especially, because
Yeah.
we have to cook things in big batches and think about rationing out because we have a large family, a big household, and I don't get to have those kind of treats, and everybody's picky. Me, I like anything. It's good. But anyway, enough bantering. Now I'm hungry. All I've had today was a graham cracker with peanut butter on it.
Oh man,
crunchy peanut butter.
I had my grilled cheese sandwich. You
Grilled
gave me enough
cheese.
time.
Grilled cheese is always a winner in my book. So is PB&J. See, I'm simple to please too. I mean, I have a refined palate, but I enjoy the simple pleasures. Actually, right now some Chinese takeout or some pizza sounds good to me.
Oh man, junk food.
I know. Well, it's comfort food because it's stuff you don't eat as often. Like if you're eating that every day, that's a problem.
Right.
And my brother, my little brother, still lives with my mom, and she's an amazing cook, and he still eats out. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
That's a slap in the face, because
he doesn't appreciate it.
Yeah, I can eat her food anytime. So I love visiting her. I have to make a trip out there because every time I go there, she's like, what would you like me to cook for you? I'm like, ooh, some roast pork shoulder, maybe some of that black rice you make with the black beans, and or maybe some of your grilled chicken. That grilled chicken's good. Oh, so many good things she makes. She makes an amazing rice pudding.
Oh yeah.
Or bread pudding. The doctor likes
go
pudding.
up for a visit?
Financially, I don't know how it's gonna happen right now.
Yeah.
Hopefully, come February, things will normalize, and then I also have to think about how to stream and do podcasts while I'm up there.
Right.
Gotta think of continuity.
Well, your little brother has internet.
Yeah, but he's on the Mac. I have to bring my own stuff.
Yeah.
I do have another computer over there, but I need to update it. It's a much older computer. But it is custom built, so when you custom build it, the life cycle is extended. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
You need a laptop for traveling.
Yeah, the last few laptops I had, though, I've had bad luck. I don't know. I'm kind of hesitant about getting laptops. I'd rather spend that money to upgrade my computer. I mean, with the money you spend for a laptop, you could build a really nice desktop.
Well, fine. Then haul your computer around.
Yeah.
You don't like that idea.
Yeah.
I used to do that.
Well, the thing
a long time ago.
What's bad about it is the more you do that, the more you tension, the more stress you put on a computer. Just do that in college for LAN parties.
I didn't do LAN. No, I was a little bit way before LAN parties, but no, I did haul my computer around.
Did you strap it onto your back?
I actually had a big bag, yeah.
Man.
A big backpack. So I could.
Do you have an ice cream truck by you?
That's the clock.
Oh.
On the other side of the house.
It sounded like an ice cream truck.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to just like shuffle off randomly.
Be right back, man.
BRB.
I have not seen an ice cream truck in a long time. Not in my neighborhood here.
I wonder if you even come up my way now. We haven't experienced that yet. We shall see. But so let's talk about the Walking Dead season 5. So
I'm happy. I was really worried. So I'll tell you, I was really worried that they would make Gabriel into something terribly evil,
Yeah,
and they didn't. And I was like, phew, because then I would have had a major problem with them.
I wasn't worried about that for some reason. Like I knew they were actually overstating his guilt
They were
to make
totally
it.
overstating it. Yeah.
Yeah, they wanted you to go to a really dark place and think something really bad, like he's a closet rapist or closet homo or something. I don't know.
Well, I thought maybe he was working with Terminus people,
Yeah, that's the most
and
that's
that would
the
have been terrible.
yeah that's the immediate thing I think most people were thinking. It's like, oh, he's to protect himself, he just gives up people, he trades them off.
Right.
But the hints were there though, like when I think it was a no-brainer when you saw the scratches on the outside on the windows and doors. People were trying to
Right.
get into the church, so I just thought clearly he just got freaked out when he saw the zombies, locked himself in.
Right.
The walkers rather, because that called zombies on the Walking Dead. Walkers or biters we call them, but he closed them, he locked them out, and then cried himself to sleep while everybody was crying and screaming from pain.
And getting eaten.
Yeah, because even out on the outside, you saw people wrote, "You're gonna burn in hell for this" and all this stuff.
Right. Wow.
But they were really good about making
They
you
did
think
not
other
have
things.
enough time to scratch that into the woodwork.
Yeah.
I mean, if they were using a permanent marker, okay, fine. But
Well, I'm guessing there was a bunch of them, and the zombie was focusing on other people, and then someone was just like, "I'm not gonna get it away, so I'm just gonna write this and make sure I haunt him forever."
uh-huh.
But then they dropped a lot of like hints to like they did a lot of diversions, a lot of distractions to make you think other things. Like, wasn't there a picture of him and like a white woman? And then the people were saying, "Oh, it was that they were trying to play the whole racism thing." It's like, hey, you're in an interracial relationship, or you're having an affair with another woman. And there's all kinds of
Well, yeah,
speculation.
and that was a suggestion that maybe him and that woman was having an affair, and she was the zombie that, you know, I don't know. She might have been the zombie that bit Bob.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was. Like, how's that for like karma? But Bob's paying the price for his sins,
Right.
for Gabriel's sins. That's terrible. But one of the things that really made an impression on me was how brutal Rick's execution of Garrett was.
That was awesome.
I mean, justice is one thing, but like that was a little overkill.
She, he was getting out some stress.
He was. He was. I mean, Garrett deserved it. That guy was evil.
Hmm.
But man, that it was awesome how they did that whole setup. Made him think that
Yeah,
he
that
left.
was that was very suspenseful.
Well, I was already thinking like, there's no way that they would leave that small group in the church unguarded. They gotta be faking that they're leaving. There's no way they're gonna try to go to them and not think about the possibility that they might use that as an opportunity to do a preemptive strike on them in return.
Right.
So I'm glad that's not how it played out. That would have been so stupid. Like, you stick together in these kind of situations. You don't split up.
Right.
That's like horror 101. Yeah, every time people split up, it's like, I'm gonna go ahead and check this out. You guys stay here. No,
Bad stuff's
let's
gonna happen.
let's check this out together. Okay. Hey, there's a fork in the road. You take that road and I take this one. No, 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 no. Let's go together this way.
Exactly. No, so so now that they didn't make Gabriel evil, I'm still very happy with The Walking Dead.
Yeah. Though Gabriel's gonna mess up again somehow.
You think so?
Yeah. Either
Aw.
he has to redeem himself in a big way.
Or he can redeem himself.
Yeah, I would like that to be the way it plays out. Like he sacrifices himself or something, because he realizes he messed up a lot of lives. So
But maybe for a reason. Maybe there's a purpose for it.
for him to let people die and
No,
abuse,
for him to be alive.
there might be. But his character needs to mature and evolve, kind of like Carol did. Cause all he does now is like run to the corner and quiver,
Yeah.
and he's got so much fear and guilt in his eyes. He's worse than Rick when Rick went through his whole blabbering idiot phase.
Uh-huh.
And Rick was just like completely depressed and crying at everything. He's like, "Oh, look, there's a flower here in the ground. It's so lonely." It's like, no, don't make Rick that guy.
Uh-huh.
It's okay to suffer and definitely cry. It's purifying. But man, that's all he did. Like, Rick, we need your help. We're getting overrun. I'm so worthless. I was like, the whole thing, like, all right, we get it. He hates himself and he lost people, but okay, let's move on from this. It's like a whole season of that. Rick's definitely back
It
now.
was like 2 or 3 episodes that were really bad.
The 2 or 3 were really bad, but they dragged that on.
They did.
He redeemed himself with this though, with the way he took out Garrett. But
Yeah, that was the Rick that we knew was always there.
yeah. The problem is that I think he might be a little too vengeful. And I always say this is a thin line between justice and vengeance.
That's the first time he did something like that. I don't know if they showed his son watching, but that's the first. That's what I was wondering, and I didn't pay attention enough to see if the son was there and watching, because that would have been that would have been the interesting thing, if he's willing to show that to his son.
But Carl has already seen a lot of jacked up stuff. He's already screwed up in the head.
Yeah, but I mean, he's never seen. I mean, I don't think he's ever seen Rick do that. Has he?
I'm trying to
To
think.
a living human being?
Nothing that brutal. But
I mean,
he resents
things
him
to zombies.
Well, he also resents his dad for what he did to
Not being
Shane.
Well, he resents his dad also not being manly enough.
Yeah. Carl is like the dark side of Rick, the extreme. He also has some traits of Andrea towards the end. Remember how she was always trying too hard to prove herself? She almost shot, I think, Rick in the head, trying to show off like her sniping skills, which were actually terrible.
Right.
See, actually, in the comics, Andrea was what Carol has become.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't a complete derp in the comics. She's actually useful. But yeah. So what else was big these past few episodes?
You know, did you hear that story about the actress that played Andrea? She was
she saved the kids.
no. Well, kinda. She saved women from young teenagers from prostitution.
Yeah,
But yeah, she was part of the big sting operation. That was cool.
Yeah, that redeems her from the fact that she's kind of a bitter person when you try to approach her approach her face to face. Like she always has that like permanent bitch face going on. Like, hey, do you mind giving us a quick bumper? Yeah, you're listening to Timey-Wimey Tea Time. I'm Laurie Holden.
Dude.
Go screw off.
I keep thinking, I should have sent you with my mic.
I had a mic with me.
You could have attached it to your iPod.
No, I had a mic with me. Remember?
Did you?
Yeah, there's a video up with interviews on YouTube.
All right.
Yeah, I had a nice little setup for that.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I wasn't really equipped to do was pictures. I didn't take my Canon with me because it's been acting funky. So I was like, I don't want to bring it. Then it starts acting retarded, and then extra stuff to
Well,
carry.
you'd still need someone else to help you.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Yeah,
You know, take the pictures or the video while you're doing the mic.
exactly. So, and it was pretty. I mean, I did meet up with the guys from Zombie Cast, but they were like Sean. Sean
Mm-hmm.
is like a little kid. Like he gets distracted so easily. Keeping track of him is like impossible. It's so funny. His wife was like constantly looking for him. And we would ask her like, "Hey, where's Sean?" I don't know. He was there a second ago. I do need a good telephoto lens for my camera.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, it was an $800 camera, but you gotta spend another $500 to get a good lens. Crazy.
Yeah.
I don't got. Ain't nobody got time for that. I don't got money. Nope. Expensive, man. It ain't easy being pressed, yo.
Yeah.
But it was a madhouse too, anyway. So doing the focusing on audio was much easier. I took a few photos anyway, but
Mm-hmm.
if you go up on YouTube, youtube.com/geeky antics, you'll see it's a video with photo slideshow and then some audio interviews in the background. Good times. But yeah, Laurie Holden and what's the other one that played Laurie on the show? So Laurie Holden is Andrea, and Laurie the Laurie on the show was played by Sarah whatever Callies. I hear she's not a very pleasant person either.
Really?
Yeah, I liked her. I liked her better on Prison Break too.
Uh-huh.
I didn't like her as much on The Walking Dead, but that's the character more than anything. She's a great actress, but the character just pissed me off too much. I don't know. Someone tells you your husband's dead, and you're just gonna take it at face value. Like open sesame. That's the magic word. Oh, your husband dead. Okay, let's do it. You're not gonna ask any questions. What?
Well, I don't know how long. How long was Rick missing? That's the question. Was he missing?
It was like 2 or 3 months, if I'm not mistaken.
Was it?
Mm-hmm. Actually,
Was it
maybe not even that long. I think it may have been a month and a half. Because I remember at Walker StarCon, Greg Nicotero, he mentioned that the hospital stopped working. The staff and everything, all the machinery shut down for like after a month, and then Rick was barely hanging on for the 2 weeks where he had no life support, no IV or anything going in there. That's why he was so emaciated and weak at first. So that makes sense. So month and a half, she wasted no time.
Yes. Unfortunate.
It's like bound chicken wow wow. Like, I mean, I understand. Like, I wouldn't blame her so much if she just sought some comfort from Shane, and they just hung out, maybe a hug, snuggling. But going all the way is like, no, stop it. That's.
Well, I mean, if it had been 6 months, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, a month is a drop in the bucket.
A month to 3 months is not much time to. I don't know. What does it really say about your feelings?
And I think it's also relative. It should be the waiting period, the grieving period should be commensurate with how long you've been with the person. So they've been married at least 10 years, because
Carl
is how old? So yeah. 1 month to grieve over the loss of someone you've been together at least 10 years. That's bogus.
Yeah, it means something else was going on before that.
Yeah. That's why I never understand when people would glorify Shane, like, oh, he's the best character on the show, they should have killed him off. Team Shane, hashtag Team Shane. Like, no, how can you like him? He wasn't a jerk just during the apocalypse. It was clear that he was always trying to show Rick up.
Right.
They even talked about times when Shane came over to fix the sink or replace the door, do manly stuff. That I'm sorry, that should be reserved to the husband. Ladies, let me
Uh-huh.
tell you something. If you're in a committed relationship, the worst thing you could do is ignore your husband and go to some random dude to do things that your husband can do. At least let him try. You know. Oh, I hope you don't mind, but I asked Jim to come over and replace the radiator in the car. Like, I could have done that. Well, maybe radiator. That's a tougher job. How about a simple job? Replace the spark plugs. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's very emasculating when someone you care about goes somewhere else for things you know you could do for them, because it makes you feel like you're not useful. You're not valued.
Right.
We all like to be heroes to an extent.
Sure we do. It's actually, I think it's essential for a deep relationship.
Yep. You have to create those opportunities for.
We have to be admired, men
Mhm.
and women. And if we're short changing each other from those opportunities, that's a problem.
Exactly. Like it's simple little opportunities. Like, all right, maybe your wife's not a good cook, but if she does something that's actually somewhat edible, give her a compliment.
Exactly.
You know, and create those opportunities for your better half to succeed.
Exactly.
You gotta give chances, because the worst thing you could do is put someone down, whether you say do it explicitly or implicitly.
Right.
It wears at you, and that's when people start overcompensating, or to become controlling, or bossy, or stubborn. Because then we desperately try to hang on to the few things we still have, or few, our claim to fame. You know,
What is love, man?
baby, don't hurt me no
No
more.
more.
Such a catchy tune.
It is.
I probably would play the song if YouTube and Twitch didn't have a
Wouldn't,
problem with it.
yeah.
Yeah, they'll go crazy. They'll lose it. Yeah, we're giving some relationship advice here.
Yeah.
And this is why Lori was a fail sauce, because she didn't know how to make her husband feel important. I'm not saying put him
She
on a
didn't
pedestal.
respect her husband.
Yeah, it's and I'm not saying you have to be like grovel or
No.
put someone on a pedestal, make them your quote unquote everything. There's that phrase again. Clara, you're my everything. No, what? Show it. How are you
Yeah,
showing? Don't empty words.
they were.
Just show it.
Oh man,
See,
that reminds me of my one of my favorite poems about love.
mm, you know off the top of your head.
Yeah, I think so.
I won't put you on the spot.
I'm gonna do it, man.
You'll do it all right. Let's have it.
All right. The poem's by I think his name is William Morris, and the poem is "Love is Enough."
All right.
Love is enough, though the world be a waning, and the woods have no voice, but the voice of complaining. Though the skies be too dark for dim eyes to discover, the gold cups and daisies fair blooming thereunder. Though the hills be held shadows, and the sea a dark wonder, and this day draw a veil over all deeds passed over, yet their hands shall not tremble, their feet shall not falter, the void shall not weary, the fear shall not alter these lips and these eyes of the loved and the lover. I think that's it.
Damn, you memorize all that?
Well, I used to be a romantic.
Once upon a time, I used to be able to memorize Shakespearean sonnets and whatnot.
Hey, I did that too. I've forgotten. I have forgotten them though.
Yeah, and now I'm lucky if I can memorize my name.
Me too.
That's
Me
why you
too,
gotta. I just write my name in my underwear and I just take a little peek. Okay, I remember now.
man.
That's who I am. Am I a good man? But yeah, so going back to one of the things we talked about, I see why you got so charged up when we kind of bumped heads on the issues between Danny and Clara, and I
Uh-huh.
kind of defended Clara a bit,
You
saying that
did.
it's okay to have someone else to fill certain voids, but
Ah.
I totally get why you feel that way. Cause that's a pisser. No matter how secure you are in a relationship, when you're with someone and they're using someone else to fill a void that falls under your territory, it
Right.
hurts.
It
It
does.
hurts, and it should hurt. I just didn't like the way he approached it. That was my
You didn't like
problem.
your problem was you were writing Danny off. That's all. And I understand why you were writing Danny off, but
Well, look what happened with him. It came to fruition, man.
dude, he went out like a hero.
Did he?
Yes, he did.
I don't know.
Yes, he did, man.
Well, yeah, the
You can't
as
take that away from him. And not only did he, okay, he did the silly superhero way out, which is,
when he flew away.
when he flew away, da da da, you know, I was like, oh man, they really have to drive the PE thing home. But
Yeah,
no, but the heroic moment for me was he sent the kid back instead of himself.
yeah.
See,
That was the true heroic moment.
because you see, I had tears coming out of my eyes. So it was like, all right, Danny is good. And he didn't end on a PE note.
Yeah, yeah. That's when he really redeemed himself for me.
Exactly. But yes, I mean, I was very unhappy with him as a Cyberman. You know, he is a whiny bitch. Oops, sorry. Oh no, this is after the show, so
Yeah, we'll still keep
I,
it pretty subdued, but we're covered by the opening bumper.
hmm NSF, not
So
NSF.
no NSF. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
NSFW, not safe
Okay.
for work.
NSF.
NSFK, not safe for kids. That's
Yeah.
a thing too. But yeah, this is funny. Like every time Danny Pink had a heroic moment, it was always like in your face, way overstated.
Yeah, it was, and blasting off was way overstated.
The freaking gymnastic flip he did,
Oh God, yeah.
that was crazy. Like, and see, and we called it too. This series was all about freaking robots.
Yeah.
Robots all over the place, man. It's like so the Cyberman thing did not surprise me at all. It's like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, Cyberman, hi, was waiting for you guys. It took you so long.
So they were boosting sales on Dalek, Cybermen, and TARDISes.
Next
Oh, I get it,
series,
I mean, and I get it so much that I'll even make a confession. I write marketable items into my novel.
oh yeah,
I think about sales in the future, and I was like, yeah, okay, gotta make this an important part of the stories, because it's gonna sell 'em. That's terrible.
well, from a storytelling perspective, that's good too because you it makes you develop certain characters, and
Right.
archetypes further. That's important. So that helps out in that aspect. But you have to draw a line. Like they just went overboard.
Right.
I think series 9 and onward they have to
Because it
start
was
introducing new
written in
characters.
as seamlessly, yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
It's
mean, the Apple thing. Wow. Talk about commercial.
I wonder if Apple gave him some good kickbacks on that.
Oh yeah, come on. Okay,
Sponsored by
if they
Apple.
didn't give it, that was their proposal to Apple.
Yeah, right. That's a little grape
Yeah.
on the vine, dangle it over here.
See, we can help you sell. Especially
Yeah,
the iPad, really?
yeah.
I
The
mean,
the product placement was
both
just.
you and I have iPads, and we are both, like, eh, you know.
Though it was funny when they said, "Oh, we have Steve Jobs." That was cute. That was cute. But yeah, that product placement was so overt. Is I mean, there's times when you need to be more subtle.
Right.
But Series 9 onward, they need to introduce some new characters, recurring characters, and some new locales
I'm
and
worried. I'm worried though
enemies.
because Muppet does not like criticism, and I mean, he hates it.
Oh, I know, I know.
He hates it vehemently because and he's said on record, basically screw those loonies.
Yeah, if you don't
Anyone
like, you're an idiot.
anyone who criticizes me is an insane loony.
Yeah,
Well, no, you know, and you know, everybody basically sucks up to him, including, the Nerdist and all the BBC, I mean, all the British newspapers basically suck up to him and what he does on Doctor Who and Sherlock. So he needs a little constructive criticism to get it back to where he had it. Because I think he did a good job in the previous seasons, as we both saw. Or was it Russell Davies?
but I think
Is Russell the
Moffat
magic?
has been showrunner for 2 or 3 seasons now
Mm-hmm.
because he ushered in the Matt Smith era.
Right.
So this series is a bit of an anomaly. I think the way you gotta approach a guy like that who's kind of egomaniacal is you
Yeah.
gotta lead in with lots of compliments and say, "Man, I
Right.
love what you did with this. I love the way you set this up and introduced this. It'd be great if you took that and worked that into this kind of story. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see what you could do with that. Only you could do something magical with that." They'd be like,
Uh-huh.
"You know what? Yeah, actually, I've been thinking about that for years now. I'm glad that you want to see that because that's what I've been working on. Not really, but yeah, that's what he'll
Right.
say. He's got to play into the ego. But people like that are very difficult to deal with because you
Well,
have to like walk on eggshells.
right. I mean, what season 8 had was it always had a good to great start and a good to great last few minutes finish. It was that in between stuff that they really got wrong.
Oh, so you're saying it's an Oreo without the cream in the middle?
Exactly. Exactly, man.
Man, that's terrible. Now when you put it like that, I'm gonna quit Doctor Who forever. I'm done. I'm
No.
just kidding.
We're going to see what season 9.
But yeah, the other thing too is that they spent so much time throwing in things that didn't really add value
Right.
that they had to rush the end. So we got a lot of like super convenient resolutions.
Yeah, that sucked.
It was like the Adam West Batman effect.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, Batman and Robin are trapped in a cage and they're dangled over a pit of sharks and there's acid that's about to drop down on the cage. So they're gonna die one way or another. If they escape the cage, they're gonna fall into the pool of sharks. And if they don't if they stay in there, the acid is gonna kill them. Oh, and there's poisonous gas going into the room too. Oh, what are they gonna do? And then it's like Batman's like, oh, well, I just happen to have a pill that protects against the gas, and I have a saw, and I have some rope, and I also have a spaceship. Let's fly off. And that was fine back then because it worked for that show because it was meant to be campy and ridiculous, and we loved it for that. But it's like Doctor Who, they didn't go so crazy with the sonic screwdriver. They just found other sonic screwdrivers to use.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, I'm not gonna use the sonic. But I will use this hand-me-down device that's never been introduced before. For the first time ever, I'm gonna use it right here, and then it'll never be mentioned again.
Yeah, like the invisible watch.
It's I called another time, but he's like, a pool of sharks. All Batman needs to do is pull out his shark repellent. Exactly, he has shark repellent. He has everything you could possibly want in his tool
Utility
belt.
belt, yeah.
Utility belt, yeah. I don't like those easy resolutions. You know, you spend 1% of your storytelling fixing the problems you set up during the whole story. That's bad.
Right. So what are we gonna watch, man? What are we gonna watch next week?
Oh, we're definitely gonna talk more Walking Dead. We got what?
Oh, we got Walking Dead, yeah.
Yeah, we got what episode are we up to? 6?
Is it?
We got a good. I know we have at least a good 6 episodes left.
Uh-huh.
And then that could also buy us some time while we maybe catch up with rewatch some old Doctor Who.
Uh-huh.
That's what I'm thinking. Then we could also work at some new flash fiction and short stories, and then ultimately do a radio drama. But I'd like to get a few the radio drama.
Yeah, I want to do that.
We just meet a lot of people. Cause I don't want it to just be us. I mean, we could do multiple voices, but it'd be more fun if we have other people join us.
So how do you want to do that? Do you want to do that live or do you want to do that pre-recorded?
I kind of want to do at least one live for fun. Like and maybe be over a series of shows.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we start doing pre-recorded, we're gonna get perfectionists with it, and we're gonna want to do different takes, and we're gonna want to add sound effects in for the extra polish, and once we start getting into that, it's a slippery slope. Because if you get a chance, if you listen to We're Alive, that show was so well done.
Oh, that is. That's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, they took into account all
Did they
kinds of
finish
things.
it? So
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
started listening to it. I don't know how, I forget how far I got into it. But that's
They
when I was
have-
over in Romania.
I think they have a total of 35 chapters, 3 episodes each, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 45. I know they have like over 100 different episodes, and each episode is like 20 minutes long.
How
So,
did
yeah,
they do?
They're doing well enough that they're selling CD box sets and people show up for the live readings, the live acting sessions, and they go to like they've been going to a few conventions, I think, too, and they're working on Tales of, I think it's called Tales of We're Alive, which is a side story that fills in the gaps from the original drama. So that's gonna be pretty cool. I would love to see what happens after the end of We're Alive, because there's still a lot of stuff they could do with that.
Mm-hmm.
There's still a lot of questions, but it's so good the way they left it, because it makes you think like, what was really going on there? I have plans to re-listen to them from the beginning. That's how good it was. What's cool about them is that I've heard that Casey Wayland and gang interviewed in a few places, particularly podcasts. They love the podcast circuit. We should get them on sometime. But they talk about the sound effects, and when they add the sound effects in post production, how they take into account all sorts of variables. Like if you're walking down a hallway, there's a certain kind of acoustic you need to get. What's that the drama term for a stage you have that has just props and sound props and different things like that, where there's a term for that when you want to just do sound recording.
All right.
I forget what they call that. Certain term for that, but they did a lot of the sound recording on a special stage they had for that, and then they used a lot of university resources where one of them worked in a university, and then they also did some of the stuff they actually captured in natural settings, or they try to simulate it in other ways. So that's really cool. Like, like for example, if your footsteps walking on hardwood floor sound different than walking on dirt or walking on a carpeted floor. There's different kind of shoes. I mean, they get down to those very fine details. I can't imagine the amount of work that went into it. I mean, I think they said they have like over 100 hours worth of audio, but they spent over 1,500 hours the total production or something obscene.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, and they said each session they'd have the voice actors laying down voice tracks, doing multiple takes for each scene.
Mm-hmm.
They would do the voice tracks, lay down voice tracks for like 12 hours a day or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then the thing is too, you don't always have the voice actors together in the same space, so you're laying down individual voice tracks and then mixing them together. You have to know how to time it and cut it up.
Right.
It boggles my mind. The logistics of it must be insane.
That is crazy. Well, I don't think we're gonna do that.
Yeah, not yet. We're not equipped to do that yet. Well, we could. We just don't have the time to put into that kind of thing.
Right.
But once we could do this podcasting, network stuff full time, yeah, that'd be something great to do. Focus on our creative works. Unfortunately, it doesn't pay very well, so we have to do things that are not that fun.
It's true. That's true.
Stan has a very successful grease truck where he sells tamales and churros.
That would be good.
Well, churros are delicious. Oh my gosh. I like the ones that have the little sweet center, the little cream. Like the plain ones, not so much, but the one with the little creamy center is like, oh, so good. Oh man. Fun fact: churra in Puerto Rico is Spanish for diarrhea. I just thought I'd share that with you.
Thank you.
What else Mexican food does to you, so it's fitting. That's racist. I'll just say what you're thinking. Awkward silence.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think we should wrap this up soon. I'm sure we could banter much longer, but I think we said everything we had to say about The Walking Dead Season 5 and Doctor Who Series 8. Well, actually, for Season 5 of The Walking Dead, I'm still very curious about it, and we're asking this for everyone that's listening live or after the fact on YouTube, podcasts, audio podcast feeds, and all that good stuff. Allgames.com, wherever you're listening to us. Where do you think they're gonna go with Season 5? What's the purpose of the groups now? There's no DC. DC's out of the picture. Are they still gonna try to go there?
Yeah, that's unfortunate because that was a nice driver.
Yeah. Well, we knew they weren't gonna leave Georgia. Something had to happen, one way or another, because as a matter of fact, major spoilers. When we were out in Atlanta area, we went to Sonoya where they film a lot of The Walking Dead, and it was clear that they're gonna come back to some old locations from what we saw.
Right.
Look, for example, we saw.
If you were in that situation, you would have the best thing to do is you're gonna have to build your town like the governor did.
Yeah. Well, we have a feeling that's one of the major spoilers there is that they're gonna find a new town or build a new town, and they're gonna follow some of the things that you see in the comics. Because we saw some of the build out they had on the sets there, and it looks like they're gonna find a new kind of settlement. And also we noticed that Father Gabriel's church was burned. So something's gonna happen there.
Oh.
Yeah. Spoilers, guys. Sorry, I said it. I did warn you. But
So
of course,
you took a ride out there with Sean, huh?
Oh yeah, we spent quite a bit of time. We walked down a stretch of the tracks that they walked down on the show. That was very surreal. Like, hey, I know where we're at. Hey, where's the sign for Terminus? it was really cool. Do you remember the shack where they had Maggie locked up when the governor was about to rape her?
Yeah. Uh huh.
That very one of the most tense scenes in the whole
Yeah, it
show.
was.
I wanted to go in there and punch him. Like, don't you deface, don't you defile.
Defile Maggie.
Yeah, not deface, defile, don't defile poor Maggie. She's so sweet. I just want to hug her. I have to hug her. I love her character. I don't know why. I'm very keen on her, and she's really nice in person too.
Yeah.
And with the glasses, oh, she's even cuter with the glasses. Just throwing it out there. We love you, Laura Cohen. But yeah, they had the little shack. It's an abandoned building, and it looked creepy just as is. I was like, oh man, this is where all the craziness went down.
Uh huh.
And I think that was also the same building where
Andrea died.
Where Andrea died, and who was it that did the epic escape? Was it Glenn?
Glenn, yeah.
He smashed the chair. Like, why don't more people think about that kind of stuff? Like, that's a trope in horror that I see so often. Someone's tied down to a wooden chair. It's like, yeah, why don't you throw yourself with all your might onto the floor and try to break it?
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm gonna stay here frozen in fear and just be a complete derp. I don't think the average human being wouldn't accept their fate that easily. They'd be like, no, I'm gonna find something. That was an epic scene right there when Glenn escaped.
Yeah, it was.
So who do you think, before we wrap it up, who do you think is expendable on this show? Like, who do you think they could kill off? Who do you think they will kill off? And who do you think they can kill off without pissing off a lot of people?
Carl.
Yeah. And to be fair, in the comics, if I recall, his face was blown off.
Was it?
Yeah. It's pretty brutal. I don't think they'll go there on the show, but... The thing, I want to say Carl too, because I could tolerate Carl more now. But he was really annoying before. Kept running off, doing his own thing, and he was always like...
He doesn't bring it. Well, the problem is he doesn't bring anything to the story for me right now. And
yeah, but he keeps Rick grounded. Unless Rick develops a love interest, there's no way he can handle the burden of losing Carl at this point. I mean, well, he does have.
No, he has
Judith.
his daughter. Yeah.
Yeah, they can't kill her. There's no way. I don't see a way they can do it. Yeah, I don't see a way where they could find to even do that without really pissing off people and making them completely uncomfortable. I think killing babies is where people draw the line. Hacking up human beings, eating each other, no problem. Killing a baby, no.
So I don't know. So you've got, okay. I mean, Tyree.
See, a lot of people are saying that he's become such a wimp, but I think he's important right now because he can still handle business. I mean, come on, for Pete's sake, that dude forced him to go outside the little shack, and he survived like 3 or 4 zombies with his bare hands.
I mean, of course, he's a superhero.
Yep. Him, Michonne,
and he's a nice
Daryl.
superhero because he's not all, so he has great strength, but he doesn't show it all the time, and he doesn't take advantage of it.
Yeah, he stays in his secret identity most of the time.
Exactly.
Like, well, gee, I don't think we should do that, guys. I don't know.
And that's a nice balance, That is a nice balance.
And he's also a really nice guy. I told him at Walker Star, I shook his hand and we hugged it out. And I said, dude, we got a petition to make sure your character stays alive. He's like, let's do that. Let's do that. He's just really cool. Chad Coleman, a really nice guy. And people give him such a hard time in interviews. Like, why is your character such a wuss? It's like, no, I think he just has a conscience. He realizes that everything doesn't have to be answered with violence. But of course, you have to have the people that won't hesitate when you need to do things as well. I think he's gonna know. He's gonna find where that line is, and he won't hesitate when it really counts. Whereas Shane, he's just like, shoot now, ask questions later, and Shane just went completely over the edge. That was my problem with him.
I don't like Shane.
Yeah, no, he was a loose cannon.
Was he at Walker Stalker?
I didn't see. I didn't see him. No, he canceled. Which is funny because he's the one. John Bernthal. He's the one guy that's actually a Georgia native, and he wasn't there. Go figure.
He knows he's got no love.
Yeah, I guess so. That might be the same reason that Sarah Marie, I think her name's Sarah Marie Callies, aka Lori on the show, cancels on all these fan events now because she's tired of getting like egged and tarred and feathered.
Right.
BFT says you can't kill Carl. He's got such a promising musical career starting after Carl Papa. Dirty, dirty, dir. That's a funny video. If you guys haven't seen Carl Papa or bad lip reading, check it out. It's hilarious. But I don't know. Some people were saying Glenn or Maggie.
No.
Yeah, me neither. I don't like
Come
that
on.
either. And now,
I mean, if everybody else dies, Glenn and Maggie have to survive.
yeah. Now I do have to say I am a little scared about that prospect because Maggie hasn't been getting many lines or scenes. She hasn't been getting screen time much at all, really. So that worries me.
The problem is if you kill Maggie, you have to kill Glenn.
Yeah, because he'll be a mess after losing her.
And if he's not a mess, then he never loved her.
Yeah. And Glenn is still very useful because he's the most nimble guy. He knows how to scout around and get supplies undetected. He's got that little stealth factor going on. He's a very resourceful guy.
Ninja.
He's a ninja dude, for real. Yeah, so I don't like that either. So that's, to me, Maggie and Glenn are as untouchable as Rick. Now Daryl, I love Daryl, but
The women love Daryl.
yeah, he's not. He's untouchable. We know that, but I don't feel as attached to him right now. I do like him. Michonne hasn't been getting that many scenes lately.
It's true, but she got her sword back.
She did get her sword back. She has to have time to be a ninja again.
Uh-huh.
So we got to keep the superheroes rounded out. So we got Tyrese with superhuman strength. We got Michonne with her samurai / ninja skills. You know, we got Carol, who can never miss with a shot, or is apparently an explosive expert as well. Who else is a superhero? Oh, and Daryl, he could kill tanks. That's unstoppable, and bullets don't hit him.
See.
So, quite a few superheroes. I don't know. Maybe one of the superheroes might have to die. I don't know. Who else do we have? From the core
Bob's
group.
girlfriend. Wasn't that Tyree's sister?
Yeah. Now, I could see from a narrative perspective, she'll die, and then Tyrese will just finally, that'll be the final thing to send him over the edge, and then he's gonna like Hulk out, but in a good way. Like he'd be like, "That's it. Let me get those zombies. I got this." Just go bare hands and like rip their heads off. I mean, we might as well go full on comic. Like, yeah, that's not very realistic. I don't care. I'm still immersed. Let's go.
Well, I mean, all they have to do is stomp. I still don't, they haven't explained why they can stomp on zombie skulls and they collapse.
Dude, have the zombie heads become softer now?
Yeah.
It's like one strike with anything, and their heads just cave in.
Right.
The freaking water hose destroyed them.
Yeah, that was weird.
I mean, it was fun, but not realistic at all.
Right.
I mean, being hosed down by high pressure hose definitely hurts, but tearing off your skin, maybe bursting you into pieces. I don't know.
I know. I mean, maybe they're saying that the zombies are so rotted out that I don't know. I have a lot of problems with the zombie science because it's way too fantasy.
Yeah, it's more fantasy than sci-fi for sure. Now
It's like there's a magical power that keeps the zombies going, and that doesn't make sense.
right, because logically, if they are rotted out enough to
Yeah,
break apart so easily, then they should just fall apart upon their own weight.
exactly.
Or technically, the
So
other
you'd
thing
have a
too.
lot of like half torsos with heads that are like can't move, that like you know.
Well, the other thing too is if they're riding that much, then wouldn't their brains be turning to mush like soup?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly, exactly.
and the brains are what keep them going. So yeah, there's some writers that get a lot more specific and realistic with the science of zombies.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Walking Dead is not that.
Right.
But I don't know. There's something else I was gonna mention about this season that I think we missed. The hospital thing is definitely gonna be a big thing. That's a fairly large group there,
Mm-hmm.
and there's gonna be some bumping of heads. Now, Beth, is she a throwaway character? I don't want to see her go. I know some
Wow.
people find her singing annoying, and she's been gone for so long that if she dies now, we may not miss her as much. But
So the thing is that if someone has to go, it has to be painful to us. So we
mm,
have to care about them. So her dying doesn't make sense because they gotta build her back up again.
yeah, and Maggie certainly. I still find it so weird that Maggie doesn't seem to care that her sister's missing.
Yeah, I think they messed up with that.
Yeah, there's some continuity issues there, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because again, I try to go back and think about the exact moment where Beth disappeared. Oh, I know when it was. It was when they were inside that house, and I think Daryl was drinking moonshine, and
Yeah, they went outside to kill a couple of zombies, and somehow that car came by and kidnapped her.
did we actually see that happen?
We didn't see the kidnapping. We saw the car driving off.
Yeah, because Daryl had told her to go on, and while he held off the zombies,
Right.
then he caught up with her, and then he didn't see where she was, and he saw the car peel off. And I
Right.
see, but I forgot that last part. The car peeling off. That's I don't know. I don't know if that's me being an old man or just bad writing. That didn't stand out to me.
Right.
But I don't know. Who's expendable right now? 'Cause there's a lot of conflict. When you have a large group, that's the tough part. The larger the group, the harder it is to manage personalities and keep tabs on everyone. But there's also
Right.
power in numbers. But then also, when the bigger your group, the more you have to worry about food and water. It's tricky, man.
Save it for next week, man.
Save it for next week. So, kids, I think we're gonna wrap it up. Wrap it up here. Anybody have anything they want to add to the discussion? Some final thoughts on The Walking Dead season 5 or Doctor Who series 8, or even Selfie? Are you sad about Selfie going bye bye? A lot of stuff to talk about there.
Yeah.
I hope they have a couple more episodes of Selfie. I don't think I saw any updates to the ABC app for Selfie. So I don't know. That's so sad.
That is.
You know, they started developing more and more characters too. Like, people were complaining that the receptionist was kind of a pointless character because she was just
Mm-hmm.
kind of just there. But they gave her own story, and they've been involving her more and more in different scenes, and she's come onto her own, you know.
Right.
I wish the way it worked out. I wish was less exclusivity with this stuff, and like the producers of TV shows could like shop around the shows easily. A lot of times, once one network drops them, it's like that's it, it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Very rare you see another network pick them up. Like with Firefly, Fox killed it off, but they wouldn't let anybody else pick it up, even though people wanted to.
Uh-huh.
That upsets me. I like what you said about the webisode thing. That'd be a cool way to do it.
Yeah. They have a following.
Yeah. Let's keep our fingers crossed.
Yep.
But wow. We've had the stream up for 4 hours and 16 minutes? No way.
Wow.
No way.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a very large video file. But we didn't get disconnected from Twitch once. Well, there was a brief hiccup 2 times.
Right.
But that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Well, thanks so much for tuning in, guys, and sticking with us for the post show. I'm gonna let this video process and should have the video clips, and I use clips. We'll have them uploaded by maybe 8 p.m. Eastern. It takes a little bit of time to chop it up, maybe sooner, but by then. And then maybe we'll do some Twitch streaming tonight, some gameplays, maybe some more retro stuff, maybe some Hearthstone. Yeah, that's still a thing.
You missed the streaming, didn't you?
I did. I streamed a little bit last night.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as I got the internet up, they were very short streams though. But yeah, it's very satisfying. Though I have to say, one final thought I'd like to close off on. One of the things that bugs me is, and Stan, I know you feel the same way. I can't. It really boggles my mind how close-minded people on social media as a whole are. But Twitch is pretty bad. Like, people on Twitch will collaborate at best within Twitch, and that's cool. They'll dual stream or they'll join you on Skype while you're streaming or whatever. That's cool. But it boggles my mind how much pushback I get when I ask people, "Hey, you want to join us on one of our podcasts?" Or or I tell them, "Hey, we shouted you out in this blog post," or we did XYZ. If it's not Twitch, they're like, "That's nice, thanks." And it kills me. That attitude kills me. I love Obezianka. She's a really nice girl. I know you think she's bad. I know you think she's just crazy, but and she is a little crazy. She's got her issues, but she's a nice person. She's a good person. But lately, I just looking at her as I messaged her she was talking about Facebook, how people on Facebook leave her funny comments on her pictures, and I'm like, why aren't we friends on Facebook yet? You know how many times I've plugged you and shouted you on our podcast and wrote a blog post about you, and she's like, well, we haven't talked for a few weeks. Well, excuse me, you think what am I? Do I need to talk to you daily? Are we in a relationship where I have to talk to you daily for you to acknowledge that I'm helping you out or that we should collaborate? It's such a piss poor attitude to have, and I hope people grow up in that sense, because
it's funny that you say this, because she has a video on YouTube complaining about this very same thing.
Yeah.
Isn't that ironic?
The irony is great. I had to restrain myself not to
mention that
or comment on it. But I love it to death. But I'm about to write a blog post to kindly hint at certain people that I appreciate, but I feel they need to have a wake up call. And I'd rather not blow them up in their channels.
On Twitch, they're paying it. Their attention is on the people in their channel while they're streaming.
Yeah, but think about it. Everything else, Twitch is no different than anything else. If you own a shop, where you're telling me you're only gonna acknowledge people in the shop, you're not gonna tell people you meet about the fact that you have a shop. You're not gonna advertise. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You're not gonna thank someone that said, "Hey, I put a billboard up. That thousands of people are seeing every day." You're not gonna acknowledge that, or you're gonna acknowledge it, but it's gonna be kind of patronizing, right. "Oh, that's cool, man. Thanks." "Oh, no problem that I gave you this free advertising." Can I get a lollipop now? No, you know what? You haven't been talking to me daily, so I don't feel like you've earned that. That's stupid logic. Oh my god, it makes my brain explode, man. That kind of stuff burns me up. Is the how selfish people are. I don't think she means to be, but it's just wake up,
Right.
But I want to shout out someone before we close things up for real. I do want to shout out Cupcakenoms. She wrote me a personal message, and she just was so elated that we shouted her out on a blog post. Because
Awesome.
I wrote in there people that are doing it right, and she's one of the people. Like, there's so many people that have the subscriber button on Twitch that I feel don't deserve it. I'm not saying Obezianka is one of those, but there's a lot of people that don't deserve it because they're just terrible people. They're negative. They don't come from a position of gratitude. Without your audience, without people that are supporting you, plugging you, promoting you, you got nothing. That is your lifeblood. The people, you have nothing without that. In other walks of life, you get away with it, but not in Twitch. It's all about the people. Without the people, you have nothing. What your content? Great. You can keep streaming for 8 to 12 hours a day, but if no one's watching, you got nothing.
Right.
So why are you gonna piss people off, or be negative? But Cupcakenoms, that's Cupcakenoms. Make sure you check her out because she's just she's always, even when she's having a bad day, she's so sweet. She acknowledges everyone, I feel like, which is amazing. That's really hard to do. She keeps conversations going and still manages to play her games. She takes the conversations offline to Twitter. She sends messages on Twitch. She leaves comments in other places. She goes above and beyond. This person, I wish nothing but success for her and people like her because, that's what we need more of, people that are positive and bring goodness into the world. I have my salty days. I'm not perfect. I'm not trying to be self-righteous, but I'm just tired of going to checking out any kind of content. It's all bitterness. Like, let me tell you what you're doing wrong. Let me tell you what's wrong with the world. Man. But they're not giving me anything positive, any good takeaways, anything constructive. It's just all just bitterness and venting.
Right.
Yeah, I love a good rant, but geez, gotta have something nice every now and then to say. I don't know. But Cupcakenoms, I mean, that you're awesome. The fact that you took the time out to write that message, I mean, she's smart. She's Googling herself to see if she's being mentioned anywhere.
Awesome.
Actually, I think she wasn't even Googling. So she said that she was looking for an article about how to do Twitch streaming, and we were one of the top results.
Nice.
So hopefully, and a lot of people have been giving feedback on that article. If you go to geekyanswers.net/blog, we have an article. It's called "How to Do Twitch Streams Right," and it actually says in parentheses and social media, because the rules apply to everything. So I think I want to follow that up. We've got so much of a response. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not a Twitch pro, but I know what not to do. Like, if I had the time, I think we could build the Geeky Antics channel to be a paid channel and generate some revenue from that. But it takes a lot of time.
Sure.
But it's just amazing. It hurts me when I see people doing the right things and they're not getting the love. And I see people doing the wrong things, but they get lucky, or they have some kind of inside track, or they game the system somehow to get to where they're at.
Right.
So I hope, and I pray for you guys that are on the grind. I know there's some people that are disabled or they've hit some rough times, and Twitch is supplemental income.
Right.
Hey, for me it is too. When people donate, that every little bit helps out. So I appreciate when people do that. Like, I know not everybody's in a tough position. There's always people that have the least to give the most. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
So Cupcakenoms, BFT9000, R9Cast, all the folks that bring love and gratitude, and entertain us in authentic ways. Bless your hearts. Keep doing that. Whether you're doing Twitch streaming, or you're a writer, or a blogger, or you do videos, whatever your thing is, whatever your platform or medium of choice is, keep doing it. Stay on the grind. Do not get discouraged, because you are being recognized. Unfortunately, people do not take enough time to say good things and share encouragement. People will be quick to share insults and criticisms, and that's just part of the experience. You have to develop a thick skin. So I appreciate you guys. What do you say, Stan?
Yes. Awesome, dude. They are to be appreciated.
Yeah, and I know you're running out of steam, bro, but I had to share that because that was just so cool. That
That
I got
is.
that message on Twitch, and That was really cool, and hopefully, we'll get her. She might
What's
join
her
us on
What's her
on the
channel
show.
again? Cupcakenoms.
Yes, Cupcake and Noms is N as in Nancy, OMS.
Awesome.
So we might get her here on the show too, because she likes The Walking Dead.
Ooh.
So yeah, it'd be fun. And by the way, another person I wanna shout out. I know I'm trying to buy more time stalling here, but Janelle number 5, she's got such a big heart. She's a sweetheart, and I'm glad to see her back.
Is she back?
Yeah, she's back. And unfortunately, the timing couldn't be worse because she came back and I was moving. So
Right.
we finally caught up and we got her back on one of our shows, and she's doing better. She went through some personal stuff, and life happens. But don't forget, there's still good people out there, even online, that care about you, and we're here for you. And that goes to everyone. We are here for you. You can tweet us at Yogizilla, at Farina, at Geeky Antics, or call in 1206-415-4987. Or if you want something more private, you can leave us an email, twtt@geekyantics.net. And that about sums it all up. Any last thoughts, bro, before we do the little outro?
No. See you next week, man.
Yeah.
I hope I talked to you sooner before that, but
Oh, that was to me. No, yeah.
That was to everybody, but it was also including you. And then I was thinking, well, no, I want to talk to you more than that.
Oh yeah, no, don't make me sad. You've been the one that's been on the Hobbit adventure. You've been hard to find. I get it. It's hard to protect that one ring. But we'll make extra efforts to make sure we keep the love and conversations going.
Yes.
But anyway, we love you guys, and here's our epic outro music. I might be a little biased, okay? I did make this theme, but I'm still pretty proud of it. It makes me happy. You make me happy, Stan. You guys in the chat make me happy.
Yes, they also make us happy. And our YouTube fans make us happy.
Yes, wherever you are, we love you all. And that's it. We're out of here. Take it easy, guys.
Peace.
Timey-Wimey tea time. Me gusta.